I'm Amelia from Business in the Community, and today we're here with Rob Devey from Prudential, who we'll be speaking to about his recent appointment as chair of the London leadership team. So Rob, why is responsible business important to your company?
Well, the Pru is an iconic brand. It's a fantastic business that's been around for 160 years, and for each of those years it has been absolutely a part of the fabric of the UK and absolutely embedded in the communities that it serves. That hasn't changed over that time, and I guess under my leadership it's something that I've chosen to re-emphasise just how important that is. So responsible business and being part of the communities that we serve is absolutely fundamental to what we do every single day.
Why did you decide to take a leadership role at BITC?
Well, I think BITC has had a profound impact on me personally and my own journey, I guess, as a leader. It started probably 6 or 7 years ago when I was on a Seeing is Believing visit, and that struck very, very deeply with me, and I guess caused me to reappraise how I think about doing my job, being a leader, and also what was important in terms of having an impact not only on the business that I run, but also the communities around me. From that I went on and led some Seeing is Believing visits both with inside my organisation, and this year I was lucky enough to lead a national Seeing is Believing visit. I've also volunteered for charities on my own and been a business coach for a charity, and now I'm a trustee of various boards and charitable giving organisations. When the opportunity came along to chair the London leadership team of BITC, I have to say I was delighted. What a privilege that is, and obviously it gives me another platform hopefully to give something back, but not only give something back but hopefully make a difference and increase the footprint that we can collectively make on some of the biggest issues facing society today.
What kind of difference do you think the London team can make?
Well, I think there is enormous capability in London, but there is enormous need as well, right across the spectrum and right across the geography of London and the different boroughs. BITC is in a pivotal position really between business and the communities, and the ability to bring together and harness some of that capability and bring it to bear on those communities is fundamental. Now in the London leadership team we can really shine a light on that. We bring together the corporate sector and the charitable sector in a way that you really don't see happening elsewhere. And so I think that we can make a massive impact actually on a day-to-day basis. But that's not just talk, it's also action. And it's bringing the skills and capabilities around the leadership team and then more broadly from our industries to say how can we address the issues of today.
And what is your vision for London?
Well, as I say, London's a world city. It's a fantastic place, but has an enormous diversity, cheek by jowl. I think in London, the fascinating thing about London to almost any other city is the way that you can walk from street to street to see and street to street and see enormous wealth, cheek by jowl with deprivation. You can see enormous businesses next to tiny corner shops, and I think that is something to be celebrated, that diversity, but it's also something that we need to keep knitting together and bring those skills and capabilities from the big businesses and the little businesses, from the wealthy and the poor together to say how can everybody's lot be improved by that, because I do think everybody gains from this.
And when we surveyed our leaders in 2010, they said an important part of their leadership was supporting future leaders to be responsible. How are you supporting future leaders in your business to be more responsible?
Well, this is a critical issue actually, and one that we see very clearly in our business, and in fact one that I've come across in the past. I can't say that I've always felt like this, and when I was an emerging leader, where did I put social responsibility and community engagement on my agenda, probably not high enough, if I'm honest. And so reflecting on that after the event, I can see that it's critical that we do start to push that up people's agenda internally. How do we go about that within the PRU? Well, first of all, we're very clear that this is an important part of everybody's job. And then to do your job and to be successful at doing your job, then you have to not only get the right results, but you have to do it in the right way. And that's fundamental, because those emerging leaders probably have the biggest impact on the largest number of people in our organisation. Secondly, it's about also leading from the front and leading from the top. You know, you've got to walk the walk as well as talk the talk here, and that's what I try and do every single day.
And what future challenges are facing your industry, and how can responsible business practices help to address them?
Well, I'm in financial services, and I think it's fair to say, and we all recognise, there are some very, very big challenges of trust. There's a fundamental issue of trust between the population and financial services. That is not a situation that's lasted forever. It's a recent phenomenon. You know, if you think back to 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the bank manager was one of the most trusted and respected parts of the community. The man from the PRU, indeed, was seen as a fundamentally trusted part of the community. I'm glad to say the man from the PRU is still seen that way, but it's really, really critical that we regain, as a whole industry, that degree of trust. One of the building blocks, and it's not everything, is playing that role in society and recapturing that role in society as a business. That it's not just all about the financial results. Clearly those are important, but it's about the overall business results. It's about the overall community results that we serve. So there's a huge distance for us to go here, and I'm not in any way denying that. But it is possible, and again, I think through business in the community, through the activities that many, many organisations are planning and have to deliver on, I do think it's possible for us to regain that.
And as BITC approaches its 30th year, how can it scale up its activities?
Well, I think there's two ways of doing that. Firstly, of course, we'd want more people to become involved in BITC, whether that's directly as BITC members or whether it's becoming involved in the activities that BITC gets involved in. But I think the second thing is also about the way one engages. And so it's not just about giving the cheque. It's actually about deploying the resource of the organisation. The more you put into this, the more you get out of it. That's certainly what we've seen at the PRU. We have been, lucky enough or driven our volunteering, as an example, from less than 5% of the employee workforce 3 years ago to over 40% today. That has had a profound impact, not just on the individuals and the organisations that we've volunteered for, but it's had a profound impact on the organisation more broadly and how people feel about working for the PRU. So I think that scaling, as I say, not just in terms of numbers, but in terms of depth of penetration into the organisation, is fundamental.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Rob.
It's a pleasure.